Hello everybody, it is Zen, and today I'm doing a movie review of Venom. Guys, I gotta say something. I'm really sorry about not posting a video last Sunday. I was a little bit busy. Sorry about that. Okay, back to the video. Which is a new movie by Marvel that came out very recently, and the cover or title screen thing looks like that. So, it looks pretty spicy to me. Now, this movie didn't get a lot of praise, really. If you look at the reviews, they're not very good. But to be honest, I'm not one for reviews that much. I'm not here looking at a movie with a critical eye, trying to pick apart every problem with it. I'm here to sit down, enjoy a cool movie, and that's pretty much it. Now, for spoiler-free and spoiler reviews. I know a lot of you may not have watched the movie. It came out fairly recently, and I'm trying to get this out as soon as possible. But I do want to make sure that I'm going to have a spoiler section for anybody who has and wanted to hear my kind of thoughts on the spoilery section. So this is going to be the spoiler section this time. Skip to this if you just want to hear spoilers, but I will alert you, I will tell you guys when there is spoilers coming up, so no need to worry about that. I'll rate it and everything before we get to the end. So, do whatever you want. Now, the basic plot synopsis of the movie, it's this weird alien goo thing that catches on to people and kind of controls them, and if it's not very compatible with your body, then it will kill you eventually. But if it is very compatible, you'll like go through some sort of thing, and then eventually you'll be in symbiosis with it, which is why they call it a symbiote. These evil guys are trying to use these aliens and create long-living humans that can do a lot of things because the symbiotes make you stronger. So that's all happening, and at the same time some stuff is going on with the aliens that I won't tell you about because that's a spoiler, and you can hear it in the spoiler section if that's what you want. But for now, just know that these aliens are not exactly just goo. They're conscious beings. And so we eventually get Eddie Murphy? No, that's the wrong guy. Eddie Brock. His name was Eddie Brock, and Eddie Brock, he accidentally takes one of the symbiotes, and by pure chance alone, it works with him. And so now he has this symbiote on him, and his life is changing. And now he needs to stop the evil villain from doing stuff that I'm not going to tell you about, because that's actually also a spoiler. That is the most basic plot synopsis that I can give you, even though it's a little bit convoluted. You get the idea. Evil alien and evil guy trying to use that alien, blah 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 blah, stuff like that. So, what did I think of the movie? I actually really liked it. It was pretty good. It was a solid movie. The movie itself was not exactly the best of the best, you know? I wouldn't call it my favorite movie, but it was one of the best movies I've seen this year. You know, second only to the Teen Titans Go movie. That's just a classic now. But Venom itself is a really solid movie. I know that people don't like it, right? Obviously, the rating, you know, people don't like it. I liked it, and I liked it because of a few reasons, actually. One, I liked it because it was actually really scary. I don't watch that many scary movies, and even when I do, they're often not very scary. This was actually scary. Not too scary, but it was scary enough to make me scared. It was really intense at some parts. And I enjoyed that feeling because I don't often get that, and it was done in a good moderation. The tone was set well, and so that entire area is done very well, in my opinion. I also enjoyed the comedy to an extent. It's not that great, but I think it was on the good side of things. It wasn't horrible. And then I enjoyed the story of it. So the story is kind of what people hate on. It's not great, but I would again still call it on the good side of things. It is well made, it's well created, and the story makes sense. Although some parts are very uninteresting and are somewhat illogical, most of it is very logical and it flows through properly, and I appreciated that to an extent. Obviously, with those good points, there are a lot more bad points that I would need to address. Namely, the many inconsistencies. I won't name many, but there's just some inconsistencies that just don't make sense that much. I watched a review before going into it, and so I knew one inconsistency, and it was so funny, so I'm gonna share it with you guys now. It was at a point where the evil scientist guy, he was talking to a group of children. One of the children, they said they wanted to ask a question, another one hushed them, and then scientist dude is like, hold on 1 second, let me tell you something. We need to be asking questions, because if we don't, people will silence us and blah 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 blah. So he's basically doing a lecture on why you should not silence people and why you should ask your questions. Right after that, he leaves and he doesn't answer the question. So I laughed at that. That was hilarious. I really like that wasn't, there's no way that was planned properly. It was so bad that it was funny, and I enjoyed it. So technically it's a plus. Another thing that people hate on is the plot and the character development. I already addressed plot, so there are a few problems with it. Nothing that I care too much about, but the character development, ooh, that hurt a little bit. The characters they go through, they don't learn anything. Nothing. I don't know what the character development was. It was just odd. It was like he does this cool thing. He learns a little bit, but I don't think it was enough to call it a real character arc. I think that the character of Eddie Brock himself, the guy who I actually kind of liked him, even though he was a bad person. I liked him. He was interesting. I think the actors did a good job as well, and basic stuff. The script maybe wasn't very great. It wasn't anything astonishing, but it did its job, and it might have been on the lower side of things there. But it was good enough that I didn't notice anything about it. But my biggest problem with the Venom movie, how there was a pretty good soundtrack on it. I had a problem with one song, the Eminem song. They literally put that at the end of the movie. They didn't even put it in the movie. They put it at the credit scene. Like, boy, what are you doing? Why is that at the end? Put it at the fight scene. Why is that after the movie when everybody's leaving? Why did you put the best song at after the movie? What are you doing? Excuse me, please. Don't do that. You can't do that's just you don't do that though. Like, you can't do that. Now that you've heard sort of my pros and cons, I'll give you a final thing about it, and then I'll give you a rating and move on to the spoiler section. So Venom was a very interesting movie. I liked the comedy of it, not great but good, and the horror of it, and the interestingness of the movie itself. I enjoyed the ride. It was very fun. It was a fun ride, and that's all I can want from a movie. It was not very well made as a film. The character wasn't great. The plot consistencies weren't great. But stuff like, if you don't care too much about stuff like that, it's good for you. I didn't care too much about that, so I enjoyed the movie. On a personal enjoyment scale, I would give that a 4 out of 5. So 4, I'm good with it. I'll watch it again, but I'm not gonna actively go back and search for the movie and later on and watch it again. It was good. It was a solid movie, and I'm not gonna say it was great, nor was it too bad for me to enjoy it. I enjoyed it. It was good. Probably my movie of the year, apart from the Teen Titans Go movie. Perfection. Now with that out of the way, I will see you guys later if that's all you're here for. Make sure to subscribe and like and comment what you thought of the movie, and tell me if you want me to do any other kind of movie reviews or anything like that. This isn't a film channel, so I know I'm not supposed to be doing this, but it's a review channel, so I reviewed it for you. Now, onto the spoiler section. So, if you're still here and don't want to hear anything else, I'll see you later, guys. But, the spoiler section. Alright, so, what spoilers do I want to talk about? Now, mainly the big thing that I really wanted to talk about is character development. So as you heard before, I didn't like the character development too much, but now I can actually tell you why. So the change from the beginning to the end was that Eddie Brock, he lost his wife, I believe, his fiance, and later on, and during the movie, he's very sad about that, and he goes horrible because he's so sad, but by the end, he sort of accepts it and stuff like that, and I think that was kind of the character development. He learns to take a little bit of responsibility to stop hating and being bad. So there was that character development, but of course there's nothing else to add on to it, so I'm not a fan of that in any way. The ending scene. Boy, that ending scene. That was not a very good scripted and properly made ending scene. It was very interesting, I enjoyed it, but looking back, maybe that could have been tweaked. That kind of seemed sporadic. It was way too condensed. Like, my boy, they just had a fight on the rocket. The rocket was trying to go up and bring back more symbiotes, and the symbiotes were going to take over the world, and they just kind of fought there. And I mean, it was good. The ending of that fight was I loved the ending where they merged, and that was so cool. That was fun. But the beginning of that, it just out of the blue, it's like this guy the evil guy got a symbiote, and so he was fighting with the good guy with the symbiote. And the evil guy with the symbiote, apparently that symbiote is more advanced than this symbiote. Apparently, and we didn't learn about that before for some reason, even though that could have been really, really cool. We just picked that up at the end, and then they're just like, okay, now finish it. Like, boy, we got to the most interesting part, and you just end it like that. So I'm complaining about how quick it was and how the beginning of the ending was really, really bad. But the ending of the ending, I think that was a pretty well made fight scene, and the ending where they merge. Oh, that's beautiful. So those are the two main things that I wanted to talk about. Other than that, there's not too much spoilers I want to talk about, but those are kind of my main things with the spoilered thoughts. Also the kind of symbiote plan of taking over the world, that might have been a little bit rushed, but I don't think it was too rushed. Maybe a little bit, but other than that, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like down below and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. I do reviews every single Sunday except for the one last week, cause sorry. And I usually do book reviews, but if you'd like me to do more movie reviews, absolutely let me know in the comments down below. I'd be happy to do them. I've seen 3 movies actually quite recently: Hotel Transylvania 3, the Teen Titans movie, the best movie, and Ant-Man and the Wasp 2. I can review either or any of those if you guys so choose. So let me know in the comments down below. And that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.